Hello everyone. I'm going to show you how to set up the camera so that you can see the passengers in the 737 MAX. So you go to setting up here, to settings, and you go to controls. Now I have it set up to my keyboard, and the two things you're looking for is save, custom save camera. Now, as you can see here, I have custom save camera set to 1 to 9. And the key bindings that I'm using for each of these camera settings is Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3 for camera 3, Alt 4 for camera 4, and so on and so forth. Until I get to Alt 9 for save camera number 9, custom camera number 9. Now, the next thing you need to do is once you have a position for your save, you need a position for your load. So here you have load camera. I type load, so you have load camera. So I have load camera number 1 is number 1 on the key binding. Load camera number 2 is number 2 on the key binding. Load camera number 3 is number 3 on the key binding, so on and so forth till I get to number 9. So camera 1 to 9, that's what I usually use. So this is what you need to set up first: load camera and save camera. So you get out of this and you go to pick the airplane. So you go to free flight, and you have the MAX right here, which is already set up. So you go to the airport. One thing about the MAX I want to say right now, the MAX, when you configure the MAX, there are two airplanes. You have, let's go to the MAX, and you type in 737. You have two choices. You have the Lufthansa one, and then you have the Sobel Studio one. The Studio one has two types of configuration. You have the business jet, and you have the passengers. Let's pick since we didn't do the business jet, we're gonna do the business jet for now. So we got business jet right here. And then you press save, you go back, and we're gonna go to one of my favorite airports, which is San Diego. So you pick San Diego. Now, as I said, if you start the airplane on the runway, you'll see the passengers. Well, the passengers will spawn. But if you start on the tarmac, which we're already going to do right now, you're not going to see any passengers in the cabin. In fact, you won't be able to get into the cabin. And as we wait to see, as we spawn into the airport, it's going to take a couple of seconds. As you can see, the airplane spawning into the airport. We spawn onto the tarmac. Now, when you usually spawn on the tarmac, you're outside the aircraft, as you can see here. So you can walk around, do whatever you want, do your pre-check or whatever you want to do, but we're just going to go onto the airplane. Now, when you press the buttons to open the door, you get this. You go right inside the airplane. And when you try to get out of the door to see your passengers, say like here, you go out, you spawn right outside of the door. So I'm going to show you how to spawn when pick a camera so that you can actually see your passengers. So this is my position number 1 that I already set up. When I press number 2 on my keyboard, this is what happens. I go to number 2. If I go to number 3, it goes right here to number 3. So let's go back. In order for you to go to 4, I go right here. I'm in this number 5, I'm in this position. Number 6 is like this. So I'm going to show you how to get these camera angles. So you go back to number 1. So what you want to do is you want to set up number 1. So you do Alt 1, to save it. And then you're saved. Then when you press number 1, it's right there. What you want, see, like if I want to start in the middle of the aircraft, this would be number 1. So I put Alt 1 right there. So every time I move my camera, if I press number 1, it's going to take me right to the middle. But I don't like it in the middle. I'm going to put it right back here. So I'm going to put Alt 1. So every time I go, you have to do that first. Now, the second thing is you're going to figure out a camera for number 2. Number 2, on your keyboard. So what you want to do is you got to push. You have to use your left, right button to move yourself to the edge of this cockpit where the co-pilot is. You go to your camera. You click on the camera, and you go down to pilot. Right down here, pilot, and you click on pilot. And you have some choices here: pilot, HUD, co-pilot. You want to click co-pilot. When you click on co-pilot, you're going to go right outside the airplane. So I'm going to click it, you're outside the airplane. At this particular point, you want to press on your keyboard Alt 2. Now you press 1, it brings you back to your where you were in your pilot position. When you press 2, you're outside the cockpit. Now you can move. Once you went back to your pilot seat, you can move outside the airplane. You can go down or whatever. But we're gonna go inside the cockpit. So when you do this, you can actually go inside the cockpit. Let's go back again. So we press 2. So we're outside. Don't do anything yet, because sometimes when you move around, it'll stop. It'll get stuck. So we're gonna move significantly towards the cabin. And then we're going to go inside, try to get inside. The airplane. So we're inside the cockpit, as you can see. So right now I'm going to press Alt 2. So that way it's saved. So I'm back in the cockpit, which is number 1. I press 2. I'm in the airplane cockpit. So this is how you can do this. And then if I move around here at my position 2, I want to set up a camera for number 3. Say I want to see how these passengers look like from this angle inside the business jet. I stop right here and I press Alt 3. So that's Alt 3. So this is number 1, right? Number 2, and number 3. Okay, now let's go to let's go to main menu again. Okay, so we're gonna go to free flight. And it's gonna take you to this stupid thing there. When you use this thing, it does this all the time. In the one-way now, after you see how that kind of messed up. So we're in the runway. If I press 2, I'm in the cockpit. So remember what I said. What you need to do is you open up your AFB and you press aircraft. See the aircraft right here on your tablet? You press aircraft and you go to performance and you do this. And now you see these square blue squares. These are your passengers. So we're gonna go to this one and click on some numbers right here and then press low aircraft. It's going to turn white. You go to the second one, you click on that and you're going to press the plus button, then you get to 4, 5, 6, whatever, and you press low aircraft. You do that. You keep going until you get a certain amount of passengers that you like. So we're going to do these passengers because this is where the cabin is on the camera 2 and 3. So you move the thing so you can actually get to the plus sign and do that, and that's 4. So we did a lot of passengers in there. So you get rid of that, you press camera 2. You see, now you can see the passengers sitting down on the chair here in the cabin. There's 2 right here, and there's 3 right here. And if I press number 3, you have them right there. If I want to get more passengers in this place, I go like this and press that, and then another passenger will show up. Let's press camera number 2. So I'm gonna go right here and add another passenger in this business class. I press 2, and there will be another passenger. So right now we have 7 passengers in this business class section. There's actually more areas, but we're just gonna deal with this one. Let's say like you wanna do more than just this area right here. You wanna go further back on the aircraft, because this aircraft is pretty interesting in its own right. You go over here, now you got these seats. So again, you press Alt 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Now, so let's get our EFB. These are the 4 seats that we're going to be looking at. So we're going to press some numbers in here and press low aircraft. You have a guy spawn right there. Then we're going to go to this seat, do this, and then you have a guy spawn right over here. And then you go over here in this seat, go to UFB, press 6. Remember, it has to turn green here, and then it becomes white when you press low aircraft. It has to be white. And then last but not least, you go over here to this thing. You click on here and get some numbers here, and you press low aircraft. You got 4 people here, I think. The 4th person is actually behind this wall right here. You see right there, there's a 4th person. There's another room here, but you can't have a passenger in this room. It's just a bed. But I'm gonna set a camera for this one. This is number 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, as I said before, these passengers will only spawn when you're on the runway. They will not spawn when you're in the tarmac starting. Now, in order for us to do that, to go on the tarmac, you have to shut the engines down. Because GSX will not work if the engines are running like they are right now. I click on GXX, it gives us these things right here because they think you're landing. So when you land, they're trying to have you a suitable parking spot. So let's go to a gate. We go to a gate. It has a medium size, and he said, just warp me there. Now, if you try to do a GSS thing here again, it's going to say you need to stop the engines to request ground services. See? So we need to stop the engine, which is my key binding, control, enter, and E. And what it does is shuts down the engines, as you can see here. It shuts down the engines, cuts them off down there. And now I can request boarding. And I have a key binding for the outside of the door right here, key binding number 7. Because like I said, you can key bind on the inside of the airplane, or you can key binding on the outside of the airplane. And as you see, the door opens up automatically as the skyway connects to the plane. And any minute now, you'll see the passengers walk inside the skyway into the airplane. The same number of passengers that you spawn, you gotta press it, no pushback. The same number of passengers you spawned in the seats are going to be the same passengers that you're going to see walking onto the jetway or skyway or where you want to call this thing. Hopefully you will see some passengers. So we're gonna look at the passengers again. These are your passengers right here. And you go number 7. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, the passengers are walking through the skyway to the airplane. So this is how you can start the airplane, and there's only like 6 passengers or 7 passengers. If you go onto the thing here, it'll probably say 39 passengers, which is okay. So this is how you do it on, get passengers onto to walk on your aircraft, to be in your airplane like this. Thank you.